the chapters is almost entirely devoted to Rupert Bear's penis, which the older members may remember back in 1971, in the summer of 71, the longest obscenity trial in British history at the Old Bailey. 3 hippies in the dock at the Old Bailey, the editors of Oz, charged with publishing, and I've actually brought the charge with me, I think, conspiring to produce a magazine, if I can read it, containing diverse, lewd, indecent, and sexually perverted articles, cartoons, drawings, and illustrations, with intent thereby to debauch and corrupt the morals of young persons within the realm, and to arouse and implant in their minds lustful and perverted desires. What that meant was that the school kids' issue of Oz had a cartoon in which you saw Rupert Bear's erect penis. And the trial went on for 6 weeks. 3 of those weeks, I kid you not, were devoted to discussing Rupert Bear and what he was up to in this cartoon. At one point, I'm going to just give a flavour of the cross-examination. The prosecuting counsel, Brian Leary, QC, was interrogating Edward de Bono, who was a defence witness. For once, actually, Edward de Bono was on the side of decency. And the prosecutor says, "What do you suppose is the effect intended to be of equipping Rupert Bear with such a large-sized organ?" Edward de Bono says, "I don't know enough about bears to know their exact proportions." The barrister presses on, "Mr. de Bono, why is Rupert Bear equipped with a large organ?" To which poor old de Bono could only say, "What size do you think would be natural?" And then in that very same dock at the Old Bailey, I mean, in a sense, just by writing the history of the 70s through who was in the dock at the Old Bailey, you could pretty well do the decade. A colleague of mine, a man with whom I shared an office in 1978, was up there in the dock. The government tried to send him to prison for 30 years for possessing a postcard of the post office tower, a man called Duncan Campbell, a thing called the ABC trial. And then the next year, Jeremy Thorpe, who until recently had been the leader of the Liberal Party, was in the same dock, charged with conspiracy to murder. There was this great Liberal politician charged with conspiracy to murder because a hired hitman had killed the dog of Jeremy Thorpe's former lover, Norman Scott, in a rather interesting incident down in the West Country. And there he was, leader of the Liberal Party in the dock, charged with conspiracy to murder. Very different from the home life of Nick Clegg, I think you'll find. But then again, possibly not.